very good paper presentations, very good problems arise, and very good solutions brought up in the last. And I hope we all brought some well-being to an online learning community and final. So let's all start our session with a prayer.
Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tamastu
Vishlavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I was actually asked to, I'm supposed to be presenting a report, but I don't think the only three things that is standing in my mind right now, it's not about what we did. We've been engaged in this journey from April onwards, and we have, I think, it has been a real intense engagement. It is not something, a one-off thing, because it happened only because of the participation of the group that was there. I think the people who participated in the workshop, the way they were bringing in their ideas, I think that was what gave the energy to this whole thing. It was definitely not something that what all of us at Srishti did or anything. Each of these students, when you hear their realizations, I mean, it just motivated us. Even now, when I think of Dania's reflections, I get goosebumps. So each of these students and faculties in their own difficult situations, I mean, that's when you heard their situations, ours was nothing. I mean, we were all having good internet and things were much better. So that I think is what I can remember, I can think of at this point of time. It's not the 5 workshops that we did, 5 cohorts of training. It was not the struggle for each cohort of training we had. We all sat together immediately after the cohort saying that what went well, what didn't go well. I mean, the kind of calling people over and keeping those schedules. I mean, there's a lot of work, but that doesn't come to the mind today. When for all of us, I remember Pushpa Lata ma'am, and when all the students are telling that yes, Pushpa ma'am and Shamna ma'am helped us. Pushpa was saying, ma'am, I should have done much more. That's the thing she said. I said, no, you've done your best. So that is what happened. It was I think it was the idea which just took everybody into a realization, which though it is a very prevalent idea, I don't think we got to doing it. Should we say thanks to COVID for making this co-creation a practice? I mean, it's there in our mind, all is one, everyone is one, all those ideas are there. But did COVID really make us take the practice of a simple practice of I have to put the mask and I have to ensure the people around me put the mask, or else I'm just putting everybody at risk. And I think we have to thank COVID for giving us this great idea into practice. I mean, that's the thought that comes to my mind. And definitely at this point of time, keeping the journey with Gandhiji in mind, I really thank Jane Sahi ma'am for this 3-year association of sharing conversations. I don't know what deep conversations, and each of those conversations really, impacted me and impacted. And even the latest one, when we were discussing, I remember her telling she understood this connecting with myself was the first part of the journey, and the second was connecting myself with the other in relation to the world around me, and the third one I was talking about something like co-creation, but she was very insistent on telling the dialect between Swabhava and Swadharma. That is what we need to all, we all need to have that dialect within us. How do we take care of ourselves while we take care of others? And that is the being part of the whole. I mean, those were the ideas that she shared. Thank you very much, ma'am. I really thank you for guiding this whole process. And the same idea when I started sharing with Jeevan Kumar sir, we are very unlucky that he's not around with us today because he was not feeling well. But when I shared the idea, he immediately started thinking on those lines. He said the word Gandhi's humanism. That is what coined his word that came up immediately was that. And he said that, yes, that humanism is what we need to look at, and Gandhi's humanism is what is going to give us solutions in this time. And when I spoke to Indira ma'am about this, when I shared this concept, no, she said, ma'am, she actually was very happy that we have taken it for a 3-year period. And she said, yes, I also shared it with some college. It's an interesting idea that's working out. And Meena Deshpande ma'am also, I've been in touch and I've been sharing since she came to our session last year. And she too gave me a lot of ideas on how do you take this thing forward. So thanks to Indira ma'am, thanks to Meena Deshpande, and thanks to Jeevan sir, even though he is not here with us. So thanks to all of you to have given this idea a shape. Otherwise it would have just been a text or is there in this thing, but to make it reachable to the students, I think all of you have really given this great idea and helping us to put into action. So the 3 things I think very difficult to say, but if I have to say, what are the 3 things that really the impact that stays is that youth have so much of I think their innocence, their freshness of looking at things, and their enthusiasm and energy to solve problems, that never say die spirit. I think that is something which we need to identify. We need to celebrate. I mean, we don't have to identify. They have all of it, but we need to celebrate. I really want the next people that I want to salute in this whole process is all the youth, each and every youth who participated. Everyone, I mean, they have tried under very difficult circumstances. I could take the last name of the name of Mahadev, who came from JSS Polytechnic College, Mysore. Yesterday, he was sharing with me his project, and it was difficult for him to, put this thing, what he did, but he did an amazing thing. He had only a mobile, but in that mobile, he was able to bring identity numbers, identity security for all the participants in his classroom who were otherwise disturbing the classroom and the teacher. I mean, there's so many things, or what Dania said today, she just transformed, she says, from the workshop space. I mean, we are really grateful if this workshop has really made a difference to various students in various ways, and that's another point that I really appreciate the youth, and we need to really celebrate of them even more and more. I think whatever we are doing is not enough. The third factor, which I feel is what Gaurama and many of the other faculties have shared, is this model of co-creating well-being. I think that is something which we all have missed in this passage of life into modernization and to this thing. I mean, those are ideas, are cultural ideas. I don't think it's any new idea. Like I remember when I shared it with Meena Deshpande, she said, it's not something new. I mean, we have said it in all the religions. We have said it in all this thing. We have said this idea a lot. But I think what Gandhiji did was bringing Gandhiji into this idea was his effort of putting thought into practice. The ideas into practice. I think that focus of bringing ideas into practice of what Gandhiji did was something which was carried through the whole spirit of the conference. At never one point it was like we think of action and we think of an ideal and it is not thought in terms of action. So it was always in terms of taking the idea into action. So that I think was another, even in terms of the reflective practice papers, or doing a project to internalize Gandhiji's ideas at every point, and a deep reflection which students have never been given that space. I think they have never been given that space to reflect. And once they start reflecting, I think there's no stopping. I mean, the kind of evolution that's happening among our young people is just amazing. The amount of empathy that they have. Yeah, it again goes back to these youth who are amazing. And yeah, I think Gandhiji and this co-creating well-being was merged very well. And this, like Gaurama says, this and some of the faculty, this model of, or even Pashokmi, there are some PhD students who participated. They all said this model of co-creating well-being is kind of missed, and probably can we bring it back, because today's COVID times, I don't think there's any way a college or a learning community can proceed any further unless we get feedback from the students, and unless we are opening the spaces for students to participate and tell us how do they want the classes, how it can be done. We cannot move forward. Moreover, this also, and the problems are very complex. It's no longer that one-on-one. It is different people, different things coming together to solve a problem. So I think this model of co-creating well-being is something we all could see how we can carry it in our own spaces. And with this, I really thank all of us and our core team and all the members who participated here for this great journey and this great experience that all of you have given me.
I'd like to share the student reports, what students actually came out with, what to do next. Told that we wanted to have a conference with different colleges and talk to them about the workshop and impact of YSI. This positive result will make other colleges also to associate with the YSI. Next, the Charulata told, I want to initiate a YSI club in my own college and start asking students to identify problems and initiate solutions. Next, Varnamukhi told that colleges are starting next week, so offline learning problems should be taken up. So aim to find solutions by an YSI ideation. How can they make their friends to identify problems and find solutions? Not only an online problem in a context to solve, but solving problems by co-creating. Next, we have how to share a model of co-creating the well-being with other students. Seema told that present the same project in your own college with team of more peoples. Ganesh told that a word-to-word conversation starting with our very own friends, giving them an introduction of what we are doing and what is the YSI and the well-being practice is all about. Uma told that same idea of conversation with our peers and colleges should be taken. Swarna Mukhi again shared her own experience. She will be sharing her own experience, how she already started initiating her well-being model in her own college. She shared with all of us, and she wanted to take it to different departments and also came up with an idea of doing the same with all departments of her college in upcoming days. Next, we have Alfonsa. She told she would share her idea of starting a well-being session monthly once or weekly once in her own college and place where she wanted to implement and look upon the feedback and going forward according to her plans. Shobit told he wanted to spread a word in his own community and in his own neighborhood colleges by creating the separate team and taking it forward as in YSI events. Next, we have one more thing. Alfonso told she asked her own associatives to help her to build a not to break a chain, and she wanted to continue this as a monthly association. Next, Aishwarya and Charulata together came up with an idea to update all our activities in social medias so that it can grab many people into our well-being activities and also to approach officers and other needy places where we can all implement our well-being activities. So this were the students' feedbacks which we got. Next, I would request Shamna ma'am to take over the faculty's feedbacks.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all. So the ideas gathered from faculty on taking the YSI program of co-creating the well-being forward. So well-being model forward. So we have been discussed with many faculties. So among them, there are a few faculties who have come out in order to take this project forward. They're given he has given the ideas like to sustain our own strength and then the strength of the community, and publishing magazines about this should be continuous. Create a new space to invite new community for co-creating well-being using YSI. And according to Swarna ma'am, YSI team to organize presentation of students in other colleges and spaces, arrange presentation of students in designing a course of well-being, taking permission from the principal and training the faculties on a well-being model, and then flexible practices for teachers to conduct the well-being sessions. And as per Nikki ma'am, getting connected with oneself is first, and then getting connected with others. Then through interacting, that is interaction with the students is very important for a teacher to have a well-being session with them or to have a good well-being model. And according to Ramaka ma'am, she has shared, do a joint project with Srishti YSI team to take this idea challenge program to all youth in 5 districts, and sharing our ideas with our friends and co-faculties and college faculties. And she also wants us to conduct a seminar and workshop on the learnings that she has got. Yeah, Gaurama ma'am has given the feedback of that, but listening to few presentations, I'm sure the model can be replicated so that certain simple well-being ideas spread and reach the needy. Fragmented learning, there is dire create social support, relationship building, finding pleasure in spreading positivity, and several other possibilities can be explored. YouTube to share the recordings of today's presentations if possible. So these were the ideas generated from the faculties. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. And now I would request Indra Krishnappa ma'am.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಕೊರೋನಾದ ಈ ಭೀಕರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ನಾವು ಸಾಬೀತುಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತಹ, ನಾನು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ನನ್ನದು ಧ್ವನಿ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನದು ಸ್ವರ ಇದೆ, ಶ್ರುತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುವಂತಹ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಹರಿಯಣ್ಣನು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ರವರು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಯುವ ಜನರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅರಿವಿನ ಸಮಾವೇಶ 2021 ತಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಅದರ ಥೀಮು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯತನವು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯತನದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಿಳಿತವಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂಬ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರ ತತ್ವದ ಅನುಸಾರ ತಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೇಡಮ್, ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ವರ್ಗರಿಗೆ, ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕರವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಒಂದು ನಮಗೆ ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ, ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ, ಹಾಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಯುವ ಜನರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಾವಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ, ಯುವ ಜನರು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಈ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಕೊಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆಯ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ತುಂಬಾ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕಾಗದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ, ದೂರದ ಊರಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಲು ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಶ್ರುತಿ ಪದವಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ 10 ವರ್ಷದ ನಡಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ನಾನು ಓದಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು 2018ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಬಾಪು 150ನೇ ವರ್ಷಾಚರಣೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡಾಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಮೀನಾ ದೇಶಪಾಂಡೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯುತವಾದ ಯುವ ಜನರನ್ನು ನಡೆಸುವಂತಹ, ಅವರನ್ನ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಯ್ತು. ಕರೋನಾದ ಈ ಸಾವಿನ ನಡಿಗೆ, ಸಾವಿನ ಮನೆಯ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅಗೋಚರವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ಇಲ್ಲದಂತೆಯೇ ಸಾಗುವಂತಹ ದಿನಮಾನಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಾಯಿ ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡಿರು, ಕೈ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರು, ಚುಪ್ ಚಾಪ್ ರಹನಾ ಚಾಹಿಯೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಏನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಹೊಸ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳನ್ನ ಜನಜೀವನದ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರ ನಡುವೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು, ಯುವ ಜನರು, ವರ್ತಮಾನದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನಪ್ರಿಯಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತಹ, ತುಂಬಾ ಸರಳೀಕರಣಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಶ್ಲಾಘನೀಯವಾದ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೋನಾ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ವಿಶ್ವದ ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಾದ ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲ್, ಪ್ಲೇಟೋ, ದಾಂಟೆ ಇವರ ಎಲ್ಲರ ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನದ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ತುಂಬಾ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಂಘಜೀವಿ, ಆತ ಜನರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ಅವನು ಅಲೋನಾಗಿ ಏಕಾಂಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತಿನಿಂದನೇ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕರೋನಾದ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎಲ್ರೂ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವೇಳೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದಾಗಿರಬಲ್ಲೆವು ಅನ್ನೋಂತಹ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ನು ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರ ತತ್ವಗಳು, ಅವರ ಜೀವನ ನಡಿಗೆ, ಅವರ ಹಾದಿ, ಅವರು ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಬದುಕಿನ ಶೈಲಿ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯ ಕಡೆಗೆ, ಆಲೋಚನಾ ಕ್ರಮದ ಕಡೆಗೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಶೀಲತೆಯನ್ನು ಹಚ್ಚುವಂತಹ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಎಂತಹ ಕ್ಲಿಷ್ಟಕರವಾದ ವೇಳೆಯಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಸಹಭಾಗಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವವನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜನರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಾಳ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋಂತಹ ಜೀವನ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಜೀವನದಿಂದ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮಕಥೆಯನ್ನೇ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ತಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯನ್ನೇ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ನಾನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಮತ ಪ್ರಚಾರಕನ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಾನೇನೋ ಒಬ್ಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ, ನಾನಿದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನವೇ ನನ್ನ ಸಂದೇಶ. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಅತ್ಯಮೂಲ್ಯವಾದ ಸಂದೇಶ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ, ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕು ಏನಿದೆಯೋ, ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಬಾಳಿದ್ದೀನೋ ಅದೇ ನನ್ನ ಸಂದೇಶ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ಇಡೀ ಜೀವನವನ್ನ ಅವರೇನೆ ವಿವರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರ ಜೀವನ, ಅವರ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಾಲ್ಯದಿಂದ ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದ್ರು, ಹಾಗೂ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ ಅವರ ಜೀವನ ಅನುಭವಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನನ್ನ ಕಲಿಸಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆದ್ರು, ನಡೆದಂತೆ ನುಡಿದ್ರು. ಯಾವುದು ನಡೆಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತಹ ಯಾವುದೇ ನುಡಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ಆಡ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ನಿದರ್ಶನವನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ತತ್ವದ ನಡೆಯನ್ನ ಅವರೇ ಬಾಳಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು. ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರ 18 ರಚನಾತ್ಮಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು, ಅವರ ಏಕಾದಶ ರಥಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಅವರು ಇಡೀ ಬದುಕನ್ನು, ಅವರು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬಹಳ ಬಡತನದ ಕುಟುಂಬದಿಂದ ಏನು ಬಂದವರೇನಲ್ಲ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಧ್ಯಮ ವರ್ಗದ ಕುಟುಂಬದಿಂದ ಬಂದವರು. ಅಂತಹವರು ಒಬ್ಬರು ಸೂಟು ಬೂಟು ದಾರಿಯಾದ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ವಕೀಲಿಕೆ ವೃತ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಆರಂಭಿಸಿದ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಮಾದರಿ ಉಡುಪು ತೊಡುಪುಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾರು ಹೋದಂತಹ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದರ ಅವರ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಜೀವನದ ನಂತರ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತವನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಿದ ನಂತರ ಅವರು ಕಂಡುಕೊಂಡ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 2 ಹೊದಿಕೆಯ ಬಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನ ಅವರು ತೊಡೋದನ್ನ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಅದನ್ನ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತ ಬಡತನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಜನಗಳು ನಮ್ಮವರು ಹೀಗೆ ಉಡುಪು ತೊಡುಪು ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅವರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ಇಂತಹ ಪೋಷಾಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬಾರದು, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನನ ನನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯತಿರಿಕ್ತವಾದ ಸಂಗತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅರಿತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅವರಂಗೆನೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವರಂಗೆನೆ ಬಾಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವರ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನವು ಅವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಂತೆ ನಡೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಅನೇಕ ಬಾಲ್ಯ ಸಹಜವಾದ ಅನೇಕ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳು ಅವರಿಂದ ಘಟಿಸಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಆ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು, ಇದು ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅರಿವಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣವೇ ಅದನ್ನ ತಾಯಿಯ ಬಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದೆಯ ಬಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ತಾವು ಅದರಂತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಹಾಗೆ ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನು ಕೋರಿದ್ದು. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ನಾವು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಯುವಜನರು ಸಹಜವಾಗಿ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳನ್ನ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಗುಣವೇ ಆ ತರ ಇದೆಯೇನೋ ಅಂತ ಸಹಜ ಗುಣ ಅದು. ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ನನ್ನನ್ನ ಕೀಳಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ ಸ್ವಭಾವದಿಂದ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಹೇಳದೇ ಇರೋವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಗುಣವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಚ್ಚುಮರೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಗುಣವನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಥವಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಚ್ಚುಮರೆ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ದೇನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳ್ದೇನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ದರ್ಪದಿಂದ ಬಹಳ ಅಹಮ್ಮಿನಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಯಾರಿಗೋ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಿನ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಿಗೋ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿನ ಯಾರಿಗೋ ತೊಂದರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಿನ ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಶೌರ್ಯ ಪ್ರತಾಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅಂತಹ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಮನಬಿಚ್ಚಿ ಹೇಳಿ ತಂದೆಗೆ ಪತ್ರದ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ನಾನು ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋಕ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋವಷ್ಟು ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರೆದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಆ ಪತ್ರವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ ಅವರ ತಂದೆನೇ ಕಣ್ಣೀರ್ ಹಾಕುದು, ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಇಂತಹ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಗುಣ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನ ಬಾಲಕರಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ್ಲೇ ಅವರು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. ಆದ್ರಿಂದಲೇ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ರನ್ನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಎಲ್ರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮಾನವೀಯ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ಉಳ್ಳವನು, ಈ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನ ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಒಟ್ಟು 18 ರಚನಾತ್ಮಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಅವರು ಆಶ್ರಮವಾಸಿಗಳಾಗುವಂತಹ ವೇಳೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಫೋನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಶ್ರಮ, ಟಾಲ್ಸ್ಟಾಯ್ ಆಶ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ ಅವಾಗ ಆಗಿದ್ದಂತಹ ವೇಳೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂತಹ ಆಶ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾನ್ ಸಾಮೂಹಿಕ ಜೀವನದ ಒಂದು ಆಶಯ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇರೋಣ, ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ಭಾವನೆ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವ್ 4 ಜನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕುಟುಂಬದಿಂದ ಬಂದರು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪರಿಸರದಿಂದ ಬಂದವರು 4 ಜನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದ್ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಳು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಇದ್ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವಾದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಸಂಪರ್ಕವನ್ನ ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾತಿ ವರ್ಗ ಮತ ಭೇದ ಉಳ್ಳಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರು ಸಾಮೂಹಿಕವಾಗಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಜೀವನ ವಿಧಾನವನ್ನ ಅವರು ಕಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಆಶ್ರಮ ಜೀವನ. ಆ ಆಶ್ರಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲೇ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಪರಸ್ಪರರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಗುಣ, ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಅಗತ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸುವಂತಹ ಗುಣ, ಬೇರೆಯವರೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಇಡೀ ಆಶ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವನ್ನ ಪಾಠವನ್ನ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯೇ ಈ ಸಾಮೂಹಿಕ ಜೀವನ ಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅವರು ಒಟ್ಟು ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದೇಲೂ ಸಹ ಅವರು ಸಬರಮತಿ ಆಶ್ರಮ, ಸೇವಾಗ್ರಾಮ ಇಂಥ ಆಶ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ರೂ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಡೀ ಅವರ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಗಮನಿಸಿದಂಥವ್ರು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆಯನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಟ್ಟದಿರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕುವೆಂಪು ಅವರ ಹಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮಾತು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಹಾನ್ ನಿದರ್ಶನವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಸ್ವಂತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನೂ ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ದೆ ಸಾಮೂಹಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ವಾಸವಾಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಆಶ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಅವರು ಆಶ್ರಮವಾಸಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಶ್ರಮವಾಸಿಗಳಾಗಿಲ್ದೆ ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಂತಹ ಜೀವನವನ್ನೇ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಡದಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಂತಹ ವಾಸದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ನಾವ್ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಶಯವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಗಿನಿಂದ ಈ YSI ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವರ ಮನೆಯ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು, ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಓದುವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಏನು, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಹೇಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರ ಅರಿವಿನಲ್ಲೂ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೇಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಅರಿವು ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ YSI ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಶ್ರಮ ಜೀವನದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಗತಿಗಳು ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೂ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅವರು ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಬಾಳಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅವರ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಮಹತ್ತರವಾದ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂದೇಶ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. I would request Jain Sahib, who has been a very great supporter for us, for our YSI since from the starting of our YSI conferences. I would request you to take over the session, ma'am.
I would like to thank Principal Lakshmi Hariharan very much for asking me to join this conference. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
Yes. My apologies for not being there when people were sharing. But I want to assure you that I have actually gone through 19 of the papers very carefully. And it was reading those papers that has really inspired me to want to share today, even though I'll make it brief because I know you must be tired after 3 days of a very hectic, busy schedule. But I'd just like to share a few things. Each one of the papers I felt came out of a heartfelt question, a story, a happening, some real concern. These were not just time pass. Every one of them came out of a search for an answer to a question. And I think one of the most impressive things I've felt over these last 2 years particularly, that it's not just students, but students, faculty, researchers sharing on an equal platform. And I don't know if you realize how rare, how unique that is, that faculty, students, people from different colleges are all sharing. It's something that should be replicated because we learn from each other. One of the people who submitted was both a teacher and doing her MA, both a teacher and a learner. But everyone seemed to have that attitude of learning from each other. It is now 3 years since the YSI conference began, with a particular focus on Gandhiji. The first year, was understanding honesty, a way of connecting to my inner self. Even that came out of a very real experience. It wasn't an abstract idea. It was a way to connect to what was happening in the college. The second year was finding myself in relation to the world around me. And this year has brought those two together in a very rich way, the personal and the community and the world, the inner journey and the outer action. As Mrs. Lakshmi Haran said, the whole purpose of each paper was to bring these together, theory and practice, action and reflection. And that again is rare. I really treasure this space that has allowed that to happen. In June 2020, somebody wrote a paper entitled, "Faced with Today's Crisis, What Would Gandhi Do?" And I'm thinking that the theme of this year was very much in the spirit of Gandhi, to think and to respond to the immediate situation, to the people around us, not some vague general idea, but actually the present moment and the people, the neighbors, the family, the students, the teachers that we are with. One thing that this pandemic has shown all of us is that we are all interconnected and interdependent. But as someone very wisely said, we are not all in the same boat. Some are on a luxury cruise ship. Some are on a very, very fragile, overloaded raft in danger of sinking. So I felt that was a very good image, that we are not all in the same boat. And yet we are all in the same sea. We are all in the same context. The pandemic has highlighted painfully the injustices and the inequalities that are with us. They're with us all the time. They have been with us, but this has really brought them to the stark sort of, we've had to face those inequalities. There have been heroes also. I'm thinking of a group like in Bangalore, there's a group called the Riders, the Bangalore Riders, who were a cyclist group who went around trying to help people who couldn't get medicines, who needed help to get to hospital, send messages across to families. So there have been the heroes. But I think each one of your papers has related to the present in a way to think about well-being in the way that Gandhi meant it, and to try to understand how something could be changed positively. Several groups discussed how relations between teachers and students became stressful. I like the honesty there. I mean, it wasn't trying to butter up or patronize anybody. There was a really good sense of honesty, which was from the first conference, actually. And I think because it was stressful for everybody, there was a sense that well-being meant that we had to have a sense of shared responsibility. The topics like boredom in class. How many students have ever told teachers that they're bored? How many students have ever said that actually they're weary, that it seems as though life has been reduced to screen time, nothing else. How many people have had that level of honesty? How many teachers have actually said to the students, I've lost touch with where you are? So it was a real coming together and a way of finding a way to communicate, to actually solve problems. One of the remedies I really liked was a group called Creative Arts. And they said, we've had so much screen time. Can we do something with our hands? And I thought that was also in the spirit of Gandhi. Doing craft, doing art, doing mandalas, rangolis, actually rediscovering our hands at this time.
Did we lose her? Mitali, did we lose her?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
There was a way of really trying to support each other. Teachers supporting students.
Thank you.
Students actually supporting teachers, being aware of their problems, and students helping each other in sharing resources and finding ways of changing classes to make them more interactive and to make communication really meaningful. One of the many groups defined what they felt about well-being. And I want to just share some of those highlights for me. One group turned it round. They said, others' well-being is the well-being of us. Somebody else said, well-being is feeling alive, being creative, the joyful spirit, a sense of purpose in life, a sense of shared responsibility. And I think what Mrs. Lakshmi Hariharan said was, despite everything, despite all the suffering, despite all the sense of isolation, one thing we can be grateful for, that this difficult time, this challenging time, has actually helped us to think about our relationships with each other. That relationships are important and that we grow through dialogue and openness to understanding in our concern for others. That well-being is not a general wishy-washy, sentimental, romantic idea, but it actually calls for our attention, being awake to our neighbors, to our friends, to neighbors, to family. Another key idea which seems to have come from this, that change begins with me, not blaming other people, not blaming students, not blaming teachers, but actually trying to start to look at things again, how we can be part of that change. I think that Gandhi would also want us to question ourselves, and if necessary, find out what protest is about when injustice and corruption. We've seen the whole spectrum during this pandemic. We've seen heroism, we have seen selfishness, we have seen greed, and we have seen generosity. Where ourselves. I think the last word should be from Gandhi. It has been my practice ever since my childhood to begin with myself and they are in my immediate environment, in however humble a way. And I think that this effort of Shrishti College, of the faculty and all the people who have participated in this conference has been a humble but very meaningful and powerful way to respond to this extremely difficult and testing time. So thank you for sharing the papers with me. And I wish you all, that we may each one of us find a deeper way to reflect and act at this time. Thank you.
So we request Meena ma'am to give her,
Excuse me.
her feedback and her comments in this session. And
after hearing Jane Sahi, so where she gave us an overview of what all students have done, and since I was also listening today, so after that I don't think like I don't feel like speaking, to tell you the truth, because it's such an overwhelming response from students, and the way they are it's very easy to talk about self-realization, self-examination, understanding one's own self. So you can go on lecturing. But the thing is, what the students have done here, as Jane Sahi was putting it very, I was surprised at the definition that they are giving for well-being. So how they are looking at well-being, they are the idea of well-being. Because if you are good, so you are going to be happy. So it's not material happiness, but it is the happiness that comes from connecting to first yourself and connecting to all that is around you. And how they are connecting in this during this time, and because all the presentations, some of the presentations which I heard, even I felt so good that they are coming out, and there is one person is transformed, because always we say that reaching out to thousands of students or hundreds of students, it doesn't matter. Even if you can change one soul, so the one light is enough to remove the darkness. And here I am seeing so many lights, and it's really very, I was happy to be part of this. And as Gandhi said, that when a person connects, if you see his life, because Indira gave us the complete life sketch of Mahatma. So why he was wearing even his dress, or the idea of khadi. So everywhere there is a thinking not about himself, but about others, those who are around him and those who are very close to him. And hence this the song itself, Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye, that is enough for life. Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye, Pida Parai Janere. First you should understand others' difficulty, and then Paradukhe Para Upakara Kare Koi, Mana Abhimanana Janere. So then by doing something to others, don't think that you have done a big thing. So that thing, to be humble, so while serving others, being humble, and not for the sake of credit, or not to get any material benefit, but for the pleasure of it. So these two lines, I think, will guide us, understanding others' pida or pain. So whether it is in your own house, that is what all these children have done, all these students and even teachers have done. That is concern for others. This concern for others we can see in all these projects. And the project they have carried on for almost 3 months.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
I know.
Particularly for younger generation. And now I am seeing them. I am trying to understand them, their psyche, because they're so self-centered that they don't even look this side or that side. Okay, and bringing them to on this line of thinking about themselves, and more than that, thinking about others. Because yesterday I just had one, there was one small response, I think from some student or teacher, I do not know, when we were discussing about putting the whole thing on the web. So there was a discussion whether all these presentations should be put on web, and we have to reach out to so many people. And there was one small voice I heard. They said, "Don't make this a picnic spot." That was something. It struck me. It struck me because even in today, whether it is music or dance or scholarship, so immediate results. Everybody wants immediate results. And now you are through this for 3 years. You are consistently doing it, and the results are coming. Now the results are coming, and the students are changing, and teachers have an open mind. And as again, she said that bringing teachers and students on the same stage, on the same footing, is something which is unheard of. Because when the students are making presentation, you think that it is the students' presentation. And it is learning together, teachers coming down to the level of students, or teachers, students going up to the level of teachers, and all of them on the same footing. That itself is a great achievement. That is one achievement of this YSI. And so I feel the idea of good that these which we are thinking about is something which is not materialistic. That's why students were talking about happiness. They said we were happy. I felt good. Okay, so this is how they were expressing their the result of the experiment, or the result of their this 3 months of project. The ultimate result was, it was making them happy. So it was making them happy because, not because they have become responsible, and it is good for them, because that is how the younger generation looks at what do I get from this. Okay, that's a common outlook today. Humko kya milega? In Hindi they will say hame kya milega isse. So this is common. But now here they have understood unko kya milega. What is it they're going to get if they practice these values? If they are connecting to others, and if they have empathy for others, and what is it in return? What is it that they're getting? And Lakshmi Madam, today morning you were asking one student whether empathy has brought you some problems. So did you face some problems? The boy could not understand the question. Because we can understand. We are all adults, and we can understand what type of, because the responsibility gets extended, and he has to give his time, he has to make efforts, all those things. And we think that it is stressful for the student. But that he didn't understand. It is so simple, and he was so honest that he was all out to help his friends. He was all out to help his student community. So he was not thinking about himself. He was not thinking about himself. When you ask this question, so he could not understand your question. So I was laughing, because I thought what a generation gap we have, because we can get into all those nooks and corners. They think of the effect of being good. So being good will also bring some responsibility. That is what you meant. The more the responsibility and all those things. But he could not understand, because he was so simple. It is such an honest mind, simple mind. And when you said you have to help others, they just went to help others. And they felt good, and they are happy. They felt good and they're happy. But this should continue. See, my only thing is all these efforts that you are doing, because in being good, there is no competition. There is competition everywhere for everything, whether it is academics, whether it is profession, everywhere. Anything that is materialistic, anything that is external to you, there is competition. But to become good, there is no competition. So you can go on becoming good and good, better and better. but there is no competition. The only field where there is no competition is to becoming good. That is what I have realized. So, and that is what Gandhi's message is to us. Gandhi's message to us is this. So he went on improving. There is a continuous improvement, and just moving towards perfection, moving towards perfection. And these young minds whom you are guiding now, so even if few of them take it up as their life's mission, your purpose is achieved. The purpose of this conference, the purpose of all this hard work that all of you are putting, that will be achieved if the students who are in it, they continue with that. So for that, because you said the 3 years we are going to stop this, and even in his inaugural, he said, please don't stop this. Even here at the end also, I would like to request you not to stop this. Continue the effort, maybe in whatever way you want to continue, but continue the effort, because the younger generation, so this is a new crop every time they come, and if one light is lit, so maybe again you will have those, the surroundings will be, you will find light. And please continue this exercise, and whatever help our institution can give you, so we will also try to associate, because this exercise, particularly this exercise for all students who have done the whole project, see, it's a very difficult, you have taken up a very difficult task of connecting your well-being with the well-being of others. So the thing is, your well-being, first to understand what is good for you itself takes time. And the second is understanding what is good for the other, and then connecting the two. See, establishing the bridge, that's a very difficult exercise, but an attempt has been made, and we have some successful results also. And they're trying to understand. And Tolstoy, I remember Tolstoy here. So he said we are riding on others. What we can do is just simple, get down. Don't ride on others. See, Tolstoy says we are riding on others, just get down. That is what Gandhi talks about, self-reliance. Okay. So his idea of self-reliance. And we can go on. I can see after all the papers are reviewed and the result has come. Now I don't feel like saying much, but you have, the students are doing the right exercise. The first exercise is understanding one's own self. Okay, that you have done, and you have tried to understand. You have made an effort to understand your parents, your teachers, your friends, your peer group. So that also you have done, and in the process you have tried to connect yourself. And Lakshmi's very favorite term, co-create. Okay, that's her concept. That's her concept. Co-creation is her concept. It is not individual creation. It's not my creation or others' creation, but it is co-creation. It's you and those who are connected with you. So let this exercise continue, and because ultimately what we are going to get is happiness. The ultimate thing, or the final thing, what you get out of this exercise is happiness. And happiness lies, or happiness is there not in being happy only for yourself, but if others around you are happy, then well connected, then that happiness grows. That's how it is. It can be individual, me and my family, because this meism should go. Meism which has come from the, I don't say West, but I have to say, because we don't see, we don't understand the West. We don't understand the Western ideas. We just take what is what the children understand. Whatever they understand, they take it, but they don't go to the discipline or the transparency or all other values which are there behind. We leave them and just take what is easy for us to take. So instead of that, let us try to understand our own situation. And given we have, and Gandhi leads us in many ways, because one simple example, I will stop with that one small incident. See, Indira madam was talking about boycott of foreign clothes, right? So when Gandhi went to Manchester, you have a beautiful picture where the workers in Manchester, they are there with Gandhi. So all of them are so happy to receive Gandhi to London, because they have lost their job because of Gandhi. See, all of them, they have lost their job because of Gandhi. And here, Gandhi didn't, the foreign cloth, the boycott of foreign cloths. So all the British goods or British cloth, it was burned here, and they lost their job. But when they went there, they were happy to receive Gandhi. So they didn't look at Gandhi as their enemy, because they could understand the situation of the Indian weavers. Okay, so that's how that if you see that picture for the students, we have Gandhi's pictures, and that picture particularly you should show where otherwise they would have looked at him as an enemy. Why they didn't look at him as an enemy? Why did they welcome him? Why did they welcome him? So behind it, we find that Gandhi could connect even with those who were affected by his actions in an adverse way. So those who are affected by his actions in an adverse way, with them also Gandhi could establish connection. So here we are talking about establishing connection with our own family, our own teachers, our own circle. Okay, from where we are going to get the benefit. But it's the next level is even the adversaries. So with them also you should get connected. Okay, and their well-being also is there. When you say others' well-being, doesn't mean only those who are helpful to you or from whom you get the benefit, because all these projects, when you look at all these projects, they are all flows, and you are getting it back. You are getting back something. Okay, at least you are getting back the happiness. You are getting back your friendship. You are getting back the teachers' cooperation. So all these things you are getting back. Okay, without any. Without thinking of getting something, if you can be good to others, okay, that's what Gandhi is. Okay. So even with adversaries, connecting to or thinking of their well-being. Okay, so the idea of well-being can go on. We can expand the meaning of the idea of well-being in the Gandhian framework. Okay. So with this, I think I should stop. But the only thing is, Gandhi said, one small statement I would like to read. So particularly with regard to sacrifice. Okay, so when you the younger generation, or even teachers, or even as human beings, so whenever we sacrifice something, then we expect some response. So Gandhi very clearly says, we sacrifice truly when we expect no response, number one. And secondly, he says, you should not do something, or nothing that you should do should tire you either bodily or in spirit. Okay. So that's why your co-creativity, your activity, all this, the continuous activity, it has not tired you.
Yeah, true.
Or spiritual. Okay. So this is what I'm quoting Gandhi, so, and bringing him here. Nothing you should do should tire either your body or spirit. So that is being good. Okay, so with this, I think I close my remarks on this. And thank you, Lakshmi. Carry on with your work. Whatever I can do, I will.
Yeah.
So as everybody was sharing about the papers and about Gandhiji and all, so we just don't want this conference to be to finish here itself. We wanted to take this conference forward. So we're really happy that Sonali ma'am has initiated already. We are having a session with her that is after 2 weeks, that is on Saturday, on 7th of Saturday at 3 to 4:30. So she will be sharing about her well-being model with all our faculties. So here, where she'll be telling about the understanding about the home environment of the students and the present situation of the students, and designing the model of well-being and understanding the requirement of the students and satisfying their needs. So we are really happy that Sonali ma'am has initiated, and we'll also try to others also to come and initiate their projects, whatever they have done, so that they'll have it will be helpful for all the learning community, ma'am.
So yes, I would like to thank the dignitaries who have shared their support and also shared their valuable words throughout the YSI. So starting with Professor T.D. Kemparaju sir, Vice Chancellor of Bangalore North University, and Dr. Shalini Rajneesh ma'am, IAS Principal Secretary, and Dr. D. Jeevan Kumar sir, Professor of Karnataka State Rural Development in Panchayat Raj University at Kadag, and Dr. Indra Krishnappa ma'am, Secretary, Karnataka Gandhi Smarak Nidhi. And also I would like to thank all the special guests for their valuable time and also for beautifully giving their speeches on well-being. So Meena Deshpande ma'am from Gandhi Center BNB, and Jane Sahi ma'am, and Tyagarajan sir, and Shalini ma'am from Sethi Foundation. And also a special thanks to the special people who spared their precious time on conducting well-being sessions. So from faculties, Vandana Saxena ma'am, Vasundhara ma'am, Sonali ma'am, and from students, Saumya, Danya, Ganesh, and Nivedita. And also I would like to thank the anchors who led the 8 groups of presentation sessions for the 3-day of conference, Abhijit Kumar, Dania, Saumya, Darshan, Charulata, Lavanya, Seema, and myself, Aishwarya. And a very deep thanks to all the participants of students and faculty from different college and education institutions from all over Karnataka and also from different states in India. And thank you so much for taking up the Srishti Idea Challenge and implementing it in your college and also in your family and friends, and giving us a gift of well-being from this overall project. This three days of conference was possible only because of all. Thank you so much. And also a special thanks to the state NSS officers and all the faculties and principals of all the respective college and in education institution. And finally, I would like to thank our Srishti Degree College Institute for giving us this biggest opportunity to lead this national conference to led by youths, and also special mention to our beloved principal, Professor Lakshmi Ariyaran ma'am, and our dearest faculty and mentors, Pushpalata ma'am, Shamna ma'am, and Mitali ma'am, and also my peers and YSI fellows, Charulata and Lavanya, and myself, to thank ourselves to putting up all the efforts and hard work to just focus on well-being and to co-create the well-being model along with everyone from different backgrounds, and also having the spirit and energy throughout the conference. And last but not the least, the audience for cheering up and giving their valuable feedbacks and compliments for all our participants' project presentations. And I'm glad and happy that we have successfully completed our 3 days of YSI 21 conference with all amazing well-being models of project presentation. And also I'm happy to inform you all that we are all promised and excited to take this idea of well-being model further in our college, families, and to our dearest person. So yes, thank you so much everyone for all your efforts, hard works, love, and support. Wish to see you all again and collaborate in our biggest project, same as our YSI. Thank you, everyone.